Have you ever felt that certain people drain your energy, destroy your self-esteem, and silently sabotage even your deepest dreams? Carl Jung himself identified 6 types of dangerous people who, if you're not careful, can devastate your life without you noticing. Get ready to discover, without filters, who truly deserves to be kept at a distance before it's too late. Have you ever looked in the mirror and not recognized your own reflection? I'm not just talking about a tired face or the marks of time, but a deep, nagging feeling, as if you've lost parts of yourself without even noticing. It's a sensation that creeps in slowly, silently, seeping into the cracks of your soul, until the day you wake up and realize someone has stolen from you little by little, leaving no visible marks but stripping away your certainties and your peace. And the scariest part, this could be happening right now, behind gentle looks and familiar smiles. No one talks about this type of emotional vampirism because it hides behind pleasant masks. Jung, one of the greatest names in psychology, saw what few are willing to admit. There are people who use our pain as fuel, who twist our feelings until we start doubting our own worth. In today's video, you'll learn how to identify and, most importantly, avoid these dark presences before it's too late. Before your mirror no longer reflects you. The story always starts innocently, almost like a tale of trust. Maybe it's an old friend, a family member, or even the partner who claims to love you. Gradually, they start focusing excessively on your flaws and insecurities. I just want to help you, they say softly, but there's a strange glint in their eyes. A dark satisfaction when you stumble, when you hesitate, when you show weakness. After a mistake comes a muffled laugh, a fake compliment that you're amazing, but you always get everything wrong, don't you? The poison is in the delicacy, in the false protection. You begin to carry a guilt that you don't understand. You distance yourself from the true sources of your pain and imperceptibly start believing a distorted version of your own story, told by someone who never wanted your healing. This person acts like a mirror but doesn't reflect the truth. They project their own insecurities, ghosts, and resentments onto you until every little thing you do becomes subject to analysis, to criticism disguised as loving advice. The manipulation happens at silent dinners, parties where you force a smile to mask your discomfort in the gaze of someone who was supposed to be home, but instead becomes an abyss. Then comes the snap, usually at a moment of pure exhaustion, when you ask yourself who you really are underneath that voice saying you can't do it, you don't deserve it, or it's just luck. And what if, in fact, that voice was never yours? What if the mirror where you sought answers was always warped, designed to distort your essence and feed the other's ego? It's a shock to discover that your prison was built by the affection you trusted blindly. In that instant, you either collapse or awaken. The awakening is brutal, realizing that loving too much, trusting too much, ignoring too many signs can turn you into sustenance for someone who only thrives in your shadow. How many dreams have you shelved seeking approval from this dark mirror? How many times have you silenced your own voice to fit into someone else's narrative? Take a deep breath. This is the beginning of a rescue. Jung knew, before seeking healing, you must recognize who the true poisoners of your reflection are. And now I ask you, without beating around the bush, have you ever gone through this? Does your story contain such a dark mirror, Comment below if this resonated with you and if any part of this text spoke directly to your soul. Because admitting it is the first step to reclaiming who you've always been. Have you noticed how silence can be the cruelest weapon of all? Not the comfortable silence of understanding, but a calculated emptiness. A cold, hollow pain in your chest that opens whenever you need comfort and find only distance. The kind of silence that seems to protect you but actually suffocates, isolates, and gradually erases you. This is Carl Jung's second dangerous archetype, the manipulator of silence, and hardly anyone realizes they've fallen into this web until they're already completely trapped. Hardly anyone tells you, but this person doesn't yell, doesn't make a scene, doesn't raise their voice. Their poison is subtle, blending into daily life, and over time even feels natural. They pretend to protect, disguising it as care. They say they want the best for you, but little by little dim your light, distance you from what makes you happy, convince you the only safe path is at their side, in the dark terrain where they rule. And the cruelest part, you start thanking them for your prison, thinking it's a shelter. Imagine the scene. You come home excitedly sharing news, an invitation, a dream. In front of you is only a cold gaze, an uncomfortable silence. I'm just thinking of what's best for you. When you insist, you hear mild, evasive, never direct answers. I don't think this is the right time. I'm not sure you'd succeed, but you can try. Just don't expect it to work. To outsiders, it all sounds prudent, but inside each word is a new stone on your chest. Suddenly, you stop going out, you no longer trust your own desires, you don't share plans with friends anymore. Life becomes a smaller place, and accepting less than you deserve seems like the right price to avoid failure. But their silence isn't empty. Deep down, it's a chain, and you slowly start locking yourself up. You give up parties, jobs, trips, friendships, always afraid to disappoint the person who, you only realize later, never wanted your growth. They feed on control, on the power to restrict who you are, all under the cruel pretense of love. Then comes the shock. You wake up and realize everyone around you has been handpicked. You only have contact with those this person approves. Even your clothes, your habits, your paths have been quietly scrutinized, full of disapproving looks and subtle but deadly comparisons. The world got too small. And who are you now? Your dreams have been filtered as if they were dangerous. In the end, you're alone, even surrounded by people every day. The harshest truth is that this invisible prison has no bars, just fear. The fear of displeasing, of losing protection, of hearing that painful silence again. There is no key because you were convinced you deserved to be there, that you wouldn't be accepted out there. But Jung knew. The most effective manipulation is the one that makes you thank your own captor. So I ask you, looking you in the eyes through this screen, do you recognize this pattern in your life? Has your silence ever been controlled by someone else? Share in the comments if this woke you up and if any part of this video has opened your eyes. Because exposing these shadows is the only way to cross them, and you truly deserve to take up as much space in the world as you want. For those who want to delve even deeper into this inner exploration, consider acquiring my ebook, Revealing the Shadow, Carl Jung's guidance for facing internal conflict. This guide offers not only understanding, but also practical strategies to embrace all parts of yourself. By acquiring this guide, you will take a courageous step toward one of the deepest and most revolutionary aspects of human psychology: the encounter with your own shadow. The ebook link is pinned in the first comment. And remember, this journey is just the beginning. Continue exploring your shadows to discover the light they can reveal. Have you ever found yourself addicted to someone who sets you on fire inside and in the next moment leaves only ashes and silence? A presence so intense, so magnetic that you forget the danger and dive in, even knowing you might not come out whole. This, according to Jung, is chaos disguised as love, and it may be the most toxic, destructive relationship of your life. Few people speak honestly about this. Many romanticize the chaos as if it's just passion, jealousy, or out-of-the-ordinary attraction. But the harshest truth, one that few have the courage to admit, is that certain relationships exist solely to sustain a sick cycle of euphoria, dependency, and destruction. The benefit of this realization, if you're brave enough to see it, is escaping the game and rescuing yourself before that abyssal love becomes your daily life forever. Picture this. Someone comes into your life like a storm. Everything around gains color, energy, a hunger for life. Suddenly, the two of you are the center of each other's universe. You laugh at silly things, share secrets, dream big. You cling together as if neither is afraid of being hurt. For a few weeks, maybe months, there's only intensity, heat, promise. The problem begins when all this energy can't be sustained. The cycle is perverse. After a moment of pure adrenaline comes the emptiness, the cold, the absence. You try to understand what happened. Did I do something wrong? You relive the good times trying to justify the present discomfort. This type of person, the seducer of chaos, is a master at scrambling your certainties. Their affection turns into demands in the blink of an eye. Their sweet words are replaced by silence, disappearance, and emotional blackmail. And when you're ready to give up, they come back, more amazing than ever, full of promises and apologies. The cycle starts again, and you cling to the hope that this time it'll be different, but it never is. Pleasure turns to suffering, expectation turns to demanding, desire turns to despair. You realize, looking in the mirror, you don't live for yourself anymore, but for the next peaceful moment, the next smile, the next sign that you matter. You're at the mercy of the highs and lows, like someone addicted to adrenaline. Only now the price is your mental health, your self-esteem, your freedom. Deep down, these relationships are an addiction. And the most powerful drug is the illusion that there's still salvation in that chaos. And here comes the turning point, maybe the most painful of all. This cycle continues only because somewhere deep down, you started confusing intensity with true love. You learned to romanticize pain as if it were necessary for happiness, but it's not. Jung saw this. The void we try to fill with people like this will never be filled from the outside. Escaping the seducer of chaos isn't an easy choice. It's cutting into your own flesh. It's rewriting your own history. But it's the only possible path for those who want to stop begging for crumbs and reclaim their own lives. So, my friends, according to Carl Jung, there are 6 types of dangerous people you must learn to recognize and avoid if you want to protect your mind, your energy, and your freedom. Take note now because I'll summarize them for you. 1. The dark mirror distorts your self-esteem and feeds on your insecurities. 2. The manipulator of silence isolates you from others, always under the pretext of protection. 3. the seducer of chaos, gets you addicted to adrenaline and destroys your emotional peace. The selfish, disguised one only seeks you out when they need something, never when you need help. 5. The camouflaged envious pretends to root for you but secretly wants to see you fail. 6. The emotional vampire drains you, drags you down, and never lets you grow. These are the shadows that can sabotage your life, most often without you even noticing. If any of these people have crossed your path, or if you're currently dealing with someone like this, tell your story in the comments. Because healing begins when we recognize the truth behind the masks. Share your experience here and send this video to people who need to wake up to reality. See you in the next video.